Hello, my name is Mark Hetfield. I'm the president and CEO of HIAS, the global Jewish organization that protects refugees. In his 1985 essay entitled The Refugee, Elie Wiesel of blessed memory wrote that Christians who risked their lives to hide Jews during the Shoah did not realize their own heroism. These righteous Gentiles considered themselves to be humans, not heroes. Elie wrote, "Woe to our society if to be human becomes a heroic act." In October 2018, Dor Hadash in the Tree of Life building was one of 300 congregations across the country that joined HIAS to celebrate refugees on Refugee Shabbat. At the time, none of us could have imagined that celebrating Refugee Shabbat would be a heroic act. Yet this very human act of welcome was a pretext for the worst anti-Semitic violence in U.S. history. What can we do to make sure human acts like welcoming refugees are simply human and not heroic? The Houston Holocaust Museum greets its visitors with the words, "Never again must ethnic hatred be allowed to happen. Never again must racism and religious intolerance fill the earth." This greeting made me think of the Serenity Prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. After the hateful violence we've seen in Charleston, Charlottesville, Pittsburgh, New Zealand, Sri Lanka, and Poway, I must say that I no longer believe we can end hate in others. That falls into the category of a thing that we cannot change. We've been trying to change it for thousands of years, and we have not made much progress. So what can we change? Rabbi Hillel taught that the entire Torah can be recited in one sentence. Do not do unto others what would be hateful, if done unto you. That's something that is in our power. We must remember that the same words, the same arguments that are being used to try to keep refugees out of America today, that they are a threat to our national security and our culture, were used as arguments to keep all of our ancestors out of this country. The hate being done unto refugees today was done unto our ancestors yesterday, not just against Jews, but also against Irish, Germans, Italians, Asians, Africans, Latinx people, and today against Muslims. We can and we must welcome the stranger, particularly those who flee hatred. We must do this person by person and neighbor by neighbor. But we also must do it by advocating for welcoming policies that make America great again. We can do this by volunteering at and supporting the work of local refugee resettlement agencies, like HIAS's partner, Jewish Family and Community Services of Pittsburgh. With a global refugee crisis, we must advocate for America to once again lead by example, by welcoming more refugees, not fewer. Yet during this, the largest refugee crisis in human history, the United States government has set the lowest refugee ceiling in U.S. history, and is even pushing virtually all asylum seekers back across the southern border. We can and we must hold to account those who vilify the other, whether it's a crazy uncle who says bigoted things at the Thanksgiving table, whether it's another customer in a store who verbally abuses a cashier, or whether it's a politician who labels immigrants as invaders. We can fight these things by speaking up, by speaking out, and by voting for welcome. For resources, please look to the HIAS.org website and look at our Vote for Welcome campaign. As George Washington said to the Hebrew congregation of Newport, "To bigotry we give no sanction, and to persecution no assistance." And today, we need to remember that hateful crimes against all of us start with hateful words against the other. Thank you for the honor of allowing me to speak with you today.